Scientology is one of the most successful religious cults in the world. This is owing much to the promotion of different Hollywood stars and musicians. Different Hollywood stars like Elfman and Kirstie Alley and Tom Cruise and John Travolta, to name only a few, have gone on record promoting Scientology.
Just take those old records off the shelf. I said listen to them by myself.
Yeah, right on.
Stars like John Travolta and Kirstie Alley have even taken to the airways in defense of Scientology. But is it possible that what they are defending is yet another Aleister Crowleyan satanic cult?
Do you ever think that you might be quite mad?
Oh, yes.
Scientology has at times come under the scrutiny of the secular news media, but the stark truth has not yet been told. That Scientology is in a way another fruit of the teachings of Satanist Aleister Crowley is barely known. Few people realize that Scientology's founder, L. Ron Hubbard, was yet another disciple of Aleister Crowley's, who referred to Crowley as his good friend.
A magician. The magic cults of the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th centuries in the Middle East were fascinating. The only modern work that has anything to do with them is Trifle Wild in Spots, but it's fascinating work in itself, and that's work written by Aleister Crowley, the late Aleister Crowley, my very good friend. And he did himself a splendid piece of aesthetics built around those magic cults. It's very interesting reading to get a hold of a copy of a book, quite rare, but it can be obtained, The Master Therion, Therion, The Master Therion by Aleister Crowley. He signs himself The Beast, the Mark of the Beast, 666.
Hubbard stated that Scientology's basic idea paralleled Crowley's doctrine of do what thou wilt. He stated, our whole activity tends to make an individual completely independent of any limitations. Aleister Crowley had some interesting things to say about this. He wrote the Book of the Law. L. Ron Hubbard's oldest son, L. Ron Hubbard Jr., who witnessed his father's discipleship under Crowley, admitted his father was a Satanist and a follower of Crowley.
Well, the funny thing is that the actual truth is about as far out as Scientology itself. Really, the basis of Scientology, which is rather hidden and covered over, is the occult, the deep involvement with satanic powers. We felt that he was deeply involved with a British black magician called Aleister Crowley, and through putting himself in deep hypnotic trances and the use of drugs on himself, he wanted to become the most powerful being in the world.
L. Ron Jr. stated that, like Leary, L. Ron Sr. felt that he was helping to complete Crowley's mission. L. Ron Hubbard Jr. stated that his father considered himself to be the one who, quote, came after, and that he was Crowley's successor and had taken on the mantle of the great beast. Scientology actually began on December 1st, 1947. This was the day Aleister Crowley died. It appears that Hubbard believed that Scientology would be instrumental in building Antichrist's kingdom and seeking to destroy Christ at his coming. In a document alleged by many former Scientologists to be written to OT8s, the highest level of Scientology, Hubbard declared, quote, my mission could be said to fulfill the biblical promise represented by the brief Antichrist period. During this period, there is a fleeting opportunity for the whole scenario to be effectively derailed, which would make it impossible for the mass Maccabean landing or second coming to take place. The second coming is designed, among other things, to trigger a rapid series of destructive events. L. Ron Hubbard was close to Jack Parsons, who was a rocket scientist and co-founder of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Parsons and Hubbard worked together to produce a moonchild through Crowley's sex magic, which they hoped to be the Antichrist. Before Parsons was killed in an explosion in his laboratory, he wrote a book called The Book of the Antichrist. In this book, he called for the destruction of, quote, the Black Brotherhood called Christianity. And he stated that the Antichrist would bring all men to the law of the beast, 666, and in his law I shall conquer the world. Aleister Crowley was a deceiver who lied to his followers by promising them freedom and all the while bringing them into satanic slavery. While Crowley claimed that his followers would be free through the practice of do what thou wilt, they were actually brought into satanic bondage, the worst kind of slavery and non-freedom in existence. Notice how Crowley's doctrine of thelema, or will, was really a subtle way of enslaving his followers to Satan. Crowley taught, quote, they must accept the book of the law as the word and the letter of truth and the sole rule of life. They must acknowledge the authority of the beast, 666, and of the scarlet woman as in the book it is defined. He said they must accept their will as constituting the will of the whole order, whatever happened to do what thou wilt, right? He stated they must accept the crown and conquering child as the Lord of the eon and exert themselves to establish his reign upon the earth. In the end, Aleister Crowley was totally deceived. He died hopelessly addicted to heroin and enslaved to Satan. Witnesses declared that his last words before his death were, quote, I am perplexed and, quote, sometimes I hate myself. Crowley himself had been totally deceived by Satan as he was led to believe that he himself would be the Antichrist. And now he was on the verge of death, not having realized his twisted dream. He was said to be very depressed before his death and extraordinarily fearful. Crowley knew that it was time for him to face his creator whom he had so mocked, and he knew that the scripture stated it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, and that our God is a consuming fire. Crowley was heard pacing before his death until he finally collapsed and met his horrible end in hell. Sadly, he is taking millions of people to hell with him as the father of modern culture and as the patron devil of rock and roll.
Well, John, does that sound silly to you? I mean, it's unrecognizable to me. And actually, no, I'll correct that. There's a small amount of people who talking about what they think Scientology is. They spread it on the internet, and then other people read it, and they think, oh, that must be what it is. Which is why I say people really should just come into the church and see for themselves, find out what it is, and then they can make their own decisions. Read a book by L. Ron Hubbard. You know, pick up a book like Scientology, Fundamentals of Thought, and you can see what Scientology is, what our beliefs are, and what we practice and why, and how people can use Scientology in their lives.
For this planet and for this confederacy of the 21 adjacent stars and its 76 planets, the incident too, it is a very long, involved, and complex instance, about 36 days. It starts out normally with a capture, some kind or another. Capture. And don't think of yourself as I'm trying to run a capture of having been airy-fairying around in the air and somebody something or other and got you down with a net and all that balderdash. Because people at that particular time and space were walking around in clothes which looked very remarkably like the clothes they wear at this very minute. And the cars they drove looked exactly the same, and the trains they ran looked the same, and the boats they had looked the same. Circa 1950, 1960, this civilization has simply copied our 100% because they were told to. And they walked down streets that looked like these streets and lived in houses that looked like these houses and so on. That's what the hell. And there was quite a bit of huffle-luffle and upset and so on before R6 took place. What it was the loyal officers were the body, the elective body. They called them the loyal officers. They were there to protect the populations and so forth. And they had elected a fellow by the name of Xemu, could be spelled X-E-M-U, to the supreme ruler. And they were about to unelect him. And he took the last moments he had in office to really goof the floof. Yes, I don't blame you for dropping something. And he took these last moments to really upset it. He, of course, had several key birds who were close to him. He was a suppressive, banned all suppressives. He got these administrators and so on and heads of planets in various positions and places. He picked out all the cowboys in the white hat, and he got rid of them first, fast, and then troops, not knowing what the hell they were doing, but fed all kinds of false orders, were fed in against the population to pick them up, one after the other. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. One of the mechanisms they used was to tell them to come in for an income tax investigation. investigation. And the United States just copies income tax. They're just our six are a bunch of dramatizing psychotics, these guys. So in they went, and the troops started slaughtering them, and then the troops, of course, were ordered out to get a hold of certain bodies of renegade troops, which were ordered to get certain bodies of bad troops, and they shot each other up and implanted each other and wiped it out. They were making billiard balls out of these places. They were imported. They were actually... The trick was to shoot somebody, disable somebody, very often a needle into a lung, and at the same time to hit him with frozen alcohol and glycol, which preparation is guaranteed to pick up a Thetan. All he had to do was pick him up and put him in a refrigerator, and they had him, boy. As he tried to exteriorize from the body, there he was, frozen. And they threw him into collection points, boxed them up in boxes, threw them into space planes, which are the exact DC-8s. The DC-8 airplane is the exact copy of the space plane of that day. And no difference, except the DC-8 had fans, propellers on it, and the space plane didn't. And they threw them into refrigerated units and so on, in view of the fact that Einstein was absolutely right. No man can't go faster than the speed of sound, or speed of light, which is a bunch of balderdash. The length of time from the planet Coltis to the planet Tigiak, which is the name of this planet, was 9 weeks, and you'll see that it's many light years. Coltis is one of the planets, and is to this day one of the planets of the North Star. Polaris. And people were buried in here by the billions and the billions and the billions, and they were buried in here with boxes, and they were put in boxes and stacked around, and the people who were on this planet already just caught it in the teeth. They weren't bothered. Nobody bothered to pick them up. They just shot their administrators from guns and shot their control points out, and they took these people in boxes and so forth, and they dumped them, and then they set off hydrogen bombs on the top of each primary volcano there is on this particular planet, and when they blew up, it blew the Thetans into the air, and after the bomb, an electronic ribbon, which also was a type of standing wave, was erected over the area. The tremendous winds of the planet blew every Thetan there was straight into those particular vacuum zones which had been created. These were brought down, packed up, and put in front of projection machines, which with sound and color pictures first gave them the implant which you know as clearing course, and then a whole track implanted which you know as OT2. After this, however, about the remainder of the 36 days, which is the bulk of them, is taken up with a 3D supercolossal motion picture, which has to do with God, the devil, space opera, etc. They go 5 pictures to 5 words, and we have the full record of what it is. And it goes on for about 36 days, and then these poor bastards were let wander out. They were then boxed up again, and the boxes were mixed, so that there were 2 assembly areas. One was Las Palmas, and the other was Hawaii. And in these 2 assembly areas, they took samples from each volcano area and put it in little boxes. They had an assembly line, and at Las Palmas, it runs down the main street of Las Palmas. We had more damned accidents on that main street you'd shake a stick at. One of our captains was feeling rather queasy until I told her, well, the old assembly line of R6 is just 25 feet from you as you lie here on the slipway. That blew the charge. The towns that were left and so on were just battered into ruins, where you had the renegades that had been hired and so on, and the administrators that had been loyal to Zimu were still trying to hold out. Within a year, he was under arrest, and within 6 years, the lot had been wiped out. The loyal officer was triumphant. Zimu was put with several of his cohorts in the center of a mountain, which is still on one of these planets, and in a wire cage, which is charged with an eternal battery. He's not likely ever to get out. There is a base on this planet, and it is so shredded away as to be hardly recognizable. Wherever, then, anybody tries to do anything about this, he's apt to get a flashback. So you mustn't go around talking about being the people who are going to save the planet. You are the people the planet obeys. You are the people who own the planet. You are not the people who are going to save the planet. And thereby you will save it.
Tonight, Weldon Action has tracked down one of the most elusive men on Earth. This was the end of our search. An ex-cattle boat, the Royal Scotsman, docked at Bizerta, a small port in North Africa. On board, about 250 people, making some sort of a crew, and this mysterious man. The localized Scream Man thought he was a great scientist looking for insects. Everybody seems to think he's a millionaire. These are no ordinary seamen. Their allegiance and devotion to the mysterious man is total. To them, he is my Commodore. The man is L. Ron Hubbard, charmer, science fiction writer and showman, the creator of Scientology and the man who's pushing it into its new, more militant phase. He now requires that his crew must have training in judo and weaponry, and that they must be ethically beyond reproach, tough, formidable, and effective. To them, he's a savior. One of them wrote, "That which I have really found is the nearness to the greatness which is Ron, our founder, to me, above all, my Commodore." To date, shyness has overcome Mr. Hubbard when asked to appear on television. After several weeks of hunting for him with the help of almost every radio station along the Mediterranean and beyond, Weldon Action at last tracked Hubbard down. Just before dawn on a recent Sunday morning, Hubbard, who finds sleeping difficult, decided at last to speak. He spoke for a long, long time about his money, his beliefs, his critics, and the new authoritarian structure of Scientology. But first he spoke about his troubles with the British government. He put on his hat, he smiled, and he began.
Well, that's very interesting. But let's correct an impression first. You said you were in trouble. Let's get my relationship to this completely straight. So on. I am the writer of the textbooks of Scientology. About 2.5 years ago or so, I even ceased to be a director of organizations. The government, in the first place, I am not in trouble with the British government, not even faintly, and if I went in today or tomorrow through immigration, they would tip their hats and say, "How are you, Mr. Hubbard?" as they have been doing for years.
The immigration officials might well tip their hats, but they couldn't let him in. The day we filmed Mr. Hubbard, the Home Office decided that Britain would be better off without him. St. Hill Manor, England, Hubbard's British headquarters, handling an income of something like £1 million a year. But as Scientology expands, more and more governments and mental health authorities condemn it.
I wondered, Mr. Hubbard, if you could explain simply to a layman what Scientology is.
I think that'd be a relatively easy idea because it's actually a subject which is designed for the layman. And if you couldn't explain it to the layman, you would have a very difficult time of it. The subject name means skio, which means knowing how to know in the fullest sense of the word, ology, which is study of. So it is actually study of knowingness. That is what the word itself means. The subject,
to me, that doesn't mean very much. I didn't understand that. I mean, what does it do for you, in theory?
It increases one's knowingness. But if a man were totally aware of what was going on around him, he would find it relatively simple to handle any outnesses in that.
Even after 3 hours of talking, we never got an explanation from him that we could understand. In fact, Scientology is a faith, a religion. Because faiths are now out of fashion, it calls itself a science. But scientists would have just as much difficulty with the beliefs of Scientology as they do with virgin births and resurrections from the dead. St. Hill is a nice place. Scientologists are very friendly and honestly believe that they can help whoever goes to them. Usually, they can. Scientologists do two basic things. First, they sit for hours listening to recordings of Hubbard, and they're examined to see how well they've learnt it.
Now, the mind, when it has an old experience, will add that data into its current experience, and it keeps coming up with wrong answers. A professor looks at some college student with a slight twitch of the eye, and this girl says, "He has winked at me." And dust got in his eye at that minute, you see.
What he tells them, when you cut through the jargon, is partly good sense, teaching his disciples how to calm down and deal with the things that worry them. The rest is religious ramblings and stories about his achievements in this life and the ones he's led before, which are as imaginative as his science fiction.
Because she was assaulted when she was 10 by a fellow who winked at her first, and it messed her up considerably.
I don't understand what oat crunches are. Oat crunches, they're a thing.
The real hooker in Scientology is this instrument. They call it an E-meter. It's a very simple electronic device that's been around for years as a lie detector. There's no mystery whatsoever about it. Hubbard uses it in a process he calls auditing, the Scientologist's confessional. Here the student talks, often for many hundreds of expensive hours, about himself. His inmost secrets are dug into. As they question, embarrassment, fear, guilt, shame, any emotion will make the needle waver. American courts have condemned the E-meter as being totally unscientific. It measures only emotion. It can't distinguish between fantasy and reality. If you feel ashamed because you believe that in a previous incarnation you hammered the nails into Christ's feet, the Scientologists think that proves that you lived before as a Roman centurion. Unburdened, the student feels free at last. It's this area that's of deepest concern to the medical world. Although discussing their deepest problems naturally makes many people feel better, the Scientologists also apply this technique to people in no fit mental state to stand it. Sometimes, digging with the best will in the world into a student's problems, they can reduce him to a state of collapse well known to psychiatrists. The Scientologists gaily call it the sad effect. The only mystery about the E-meter is its price. In a recent US income tax trial, it was stated that it cost about £4.09 to make, while Hubbard was selling it for between £44 and £51. As the court commissioner said, such profitability, while not at all conclusive, is indicative of a commercial operation.
The Hubbard College of Scientology Qualifications Division, Department of Certifications and Awards, does hereby certify that Janet E. Lundy has attained the state of clear.
This girl has reached her goal. She has gone clear. Clears, like her, have gone through a list of some 60 questions written in Hubbard's own handwriting without showing any emotional reaction on the E-meter to any of them. Towards us, the unbelievers, they feel pity. They call us wogs.
I've never given a speech before, so this is the first one for me. But I did want to say one thing. Validate yourselves. You're beautiful. Thank you.
For many, Scientology becomes not only a faith, but a way of life. They become dependent upon the organization for their social life and even their livelihood. They work for very long hours and almost no money. A year ago, the organization did not deny a profit of £500,000. Since then, the income has touched £30,000 a week. They neither know nor care what happens to the money. About 3 years ago, Hubbard introduced a new note into his little kingdom, discipline. He laid down a rigid line of conduct. Since then, the ethics department has taken over more and more. This is one of Hubbard's ethics orders on critics of Scientology, so-called suppressives.
SP order, fair game, may be deprived of property or injured by any means by any Scientologist without any discipline of the Scientologist, may be tricked, sued or lied to or destroyed.
Last year, Hubbard wrote,
Now get this as a technical fact, not a hopeful idea. Every time we have investigated the background of a critic of Scientology, we have found crimes for which that person or group could be imprisoned under existing law. We do not find critics of Scientology who do not have criminal pasts. Over and over we prove this. Politician A stands up on his hind legs in a parliament and brays for a condemnation of Scientology. When we look him over, we find crimes, embezzled funds, moral lapses, a thirst for young boys, sordid stuff. Wife B howls at her husband for attending a Scientology group. We look her up and find she had a baby he didn't know about.
Most recently, Hubbard wrote this of a group of people who defended against the ethics department.
They are declared enemies of mankind, the planet, and all life. They are fair game. No amnesty may ever cover them. The Criminals Prosecution Bureau is to find any and all crimes in their pasts and have them brought to court and prison. Any Sea Organization member contacting any of them is to use auditing process R245.
Hubbard calls R245 an enormously effective process of exteriorization frowned upon by society at this time. But it's here, back on the ship with Hubbard, that ethics really flourish. The stated purpose of the ship is to get ethics in. Hubbard is captain. On the ship, he's not governed by English law. But we asked him about his authoritarian activities at his English headquarters.
If there is an authoritarian structure at St. Hill, it has been brought into being by the government itself. St. Hill is trying to correct itself. It doesn't know what it's trying to correct because nobody has told it what to correct. We get these odd allegations we used to in the old days, and I'm sure they still do. And all they'd have to do, all Robinson would have to do is say, you fellows mustn't do so-and-so, and you must do so-and-so. And immediately these fellows would straighten out. As it is,
but listen,
they're trying to prevent Scientologists from doing something wrong, but they don't know what would be wrong.
But Britain, we hope, is not an authoritarian place. It does not say to people, you will now stop doing this, you will now start doing that. And that is what your organization does. And some people find that helpful. They're told by you, and I'm sure you can do it very well.
Not by me. Not by me. This ship's company right now.
They think they're told by you at St. Hill. And they feel that you are a strength for them in that way.
Anybody who has inspired a movement would be a strength for them. But let me clarify this very definitely. It is not an authoritarian organization, and the only reason why it is trying desperately to keep itself in some sort of very firm order and so on is because they're trying to correct things.
But surely it's authoritarian in its treatment of suppressive people, that kind of thing. I mean, you don't allow criticism.
Oh, no, a suppressive person isn't critical. A suppressive person is a person who denies the right of others.
But surely you are doing precisely that thing to them by denying them the right to do what they want to do.
Perhaps, but if somebody is going to kill a baby, I think you would deny him the right to. This is beside the point. The only reason why any discipline has had to enter the scene, and the government should be very glad of that discipline, is to keep the lunatic fringe and from other people from exploiting this subject and victimizing people with it. If the government were to knock out the control point of Scientology, they would reap the whirlwind. Why do they just fight it and say there's something bad? But they never specify what's bad. They haven't specified. For instance, right now they say we're breaking up marriages. All right, that's a lie. As a matter of fact, they're saying that at the moment when you've got this book, which was just about to go on the press, is How to Save Your Marriage, because it contains thousands of successful marriages.
How many times have you been married?
How many times have I been married? I've been married twice. And I'm very happily married just now. I have a lovely wife, and I have 4 children. My first wife is dead.
What happened to your second wife?
I never had a second wife.
What Hubbard said happens to be untrue. It's an unimportant detail, but he's had 3 wives. He did have a second wife, Sarah Northrop Hubbard, from whom he was divorced on the 12th of June 1951. He has at least 3 other children. What is important is that his followers were there as he lied. But no matter what the evidence, they don't believe it. Nick Robinson was on that ship until June this year as Director of Public Activities.
How do Scientologists react when it's prove to them that Hubbard claims things in his past that just aren't true?
Well, it depends how high up they are. Obviously, you can shake a pretty new Scientologist that way. But if they've been in Scientology a long time, they daren't think in other terms, you know. Scientology is their universe, and so they would just refuse to believe it.
What are you actually doing on this ship now?
I am studying ancient civilizations, trying to find what happened to them, finding out why they went into a decline, why they died.
This studying, I mean, what do you do? How do you do it?
I have sent out several people to look over areas and so on. They come back, they tell me what they are. I go out to the important ones.
Well, the way Hubbard did his research, so far as we could see, was to scout around the islands and the coastline of the Mediterranean and see what it suggested to him, you see. He was supposed to have total recall of past lives. This past life thing goes right through Scientology. So it's a pretty important thing to establish, you know. And one incident which he described at the party following his return was that he had docked at Sardinia. And 2,000 years ago, according to him, he had been the commander of a fleet of war galleys in the Mediterranean. And he had had an affair with the priestess of the temple on Sardinia. And he used to make assignations with her by a secret tunnel into the temple. It was all beautiful Rider Haggard stuff. And, well, at the island, he made a little plasticine model of the secret entrance and sent his troops around to scout around for it. And there it was, lo and behold, there was a stone which resembled the model. And they thought, well, this is the entrance. And when Hubbard described this at the party, celebrating his return, you know, the whole room sort of erupted into cries of good old Ron and whistles, you know. And I think I was the only one there, kind of skeleton at the banquet, you know, who thought, well, this is marvelous showmanship, but it doesn't prove a damn thing about past lives.
Do you believe that you have lived before?
Now, to answer that question is be very unfair.
Scientologists believe they've lived before, though, don't they?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, it's quite interesting that exercises can be conducted which demonstrate conclusively that there are memories which exist prior to this life.
This is a drill. Fire on the boot deck.
These are some of the faithful at fire drill, one of the few things we were able to film before they got angry. One crew member wrote a letter published in the ship's magazine.
My body was seen in the ship at a certain place, whereas at the very time it was being seen, I was discussing the very spot with another 3 Sea Organization members way away from where I was seen. After this, I received 3 letters from South Africa, the writers of which were glad having seen me and congratulated me on looking so well. My last time in South Africa was 1957. Recently, I went there 4 times bodiless to see my friend Chris Weideman. My body has not left Spain since it got here.
Not everybody on board was so fortunate. Nick Robinson.
For a long time I was noticing discrepancies between what Hubbard was claiming to be the abilities of his clears and OTs and what I knew were their abilities, because I'd met several hundred of these clears and several OTs, which are the advanced students, and they just didn't have the abilities Hubbard said they had. He published some years ago that a clear would have a genius IQ, would have total recall, that is perfect memory, would have excellent health, high ethics, and will never have accidents by his own fault. Now, I found incidents to refute every single one of those claims. In fact, I never found a clear who lives up to the entire formula. So, I thought if Hubbard could exaggerate here, was other areas he could also exaggerate. I went down to Valencia to check out these OTs, who were there en masse, and I wasn't impressed at all, so I left.
Those who stay provide Hubbard with an almost free crew. There are no professional sailors. He pays them just enough for cigarettes and sweets, but they pay him rather more. The new advanced courses cost something more than £1,000 plus keep, payable to an account in the name of Hubbard's present wife. If all 250 people have signed for these advanced courses, which according to Hubbard can be completed in weeks, days and even hours, that makes over £250,000. The scrapers could be scraping for quite some time. They've been asked to sign a contract for 1 billion years.
You say that you have retired from Scientology. You're now on a very smart and splendid ship. Well, what are you doing on this ship?
I don't think the Labor government ought to know this because they don't approve of loafing, but I'm loafing.
What are you loafing on? On what proceeds? Where did you get all the money to loaf?
Well, one tends to overlook the fact that all during the 30s and actually during the late 40s, I was a highly successful writer, and that a great many properties and so on accumulated during that period of time.
Is that really where the money for all this comes from?
Yes, yes. One of the things...
It doesn't come from the Scientologists at St. Hill?
No, the Scientologists at St. Hill, as a matter of fact, I wish I had the bill here to show you, but we added up over the years what monies I had loaned organizations and what monies of mine personally, royalties and so on, had been collected by Scientology organizations, and the amount of money paid out for research, and it amounts to $13 million. That's a fantastic sum of money.
Because the other thing that we hear about are things like Swiss bank accounts, the Pictet Bank, that kind of thing. And there's a great temptation to believe that your yacht and the standard of life to which you're now accustomed is paid for by Scientologists in England.
The amounts of money in Switzerland are minimal. Very small amount of money in Switzerland.
Why do you have Swiss bank accounts?
I don't have Swiss bank accounts. There is a bank account in Switzerland. I don't know how much money is in it, but not very much. The amount of money which comes to me at this time is mostly capital, because I don't take any income. These days, in days of income tax, it's almost impossible to take any income.
So your capital, that did come from the Scientologists?
No. No, the Scientologists and so on, actually, it's what I tell you is quite true.
Yes, but the only problem I have with that sum is you haven't told me where the money does come from, where the obviously very large sums of money that you have.
Well, there were very, very large sums of money that I made when I was very young. 15 million published words and a great many successful movies don't make nothing.
Hubbard's finances are almost impossible to unravel, but in the pre-boom days of Scientology, from 55 to 59, he and his immediate family got at least $154,971, plus a percentage, usually 10, of the gross income of all other Scientology organizations. If he still gets 10% from St. Hill alone, that's roughly £100,000 a year. And he doesn't deny selling his name to the organization for £100,000, but says he never got the money.
Well, people don't talk about how Hubbard gets his money. You know, they all assume that the handouts tell them that he used to be a millionaire himself before Scientology. And it's not an area which it's safe, really, to look into.
Hubbard claims that he is well out of Scientology. Was that your impression?
He really is in charge all the way. And he receives telexes every day from his organizations all over the world, especially St. Hill in England. And he sends telexes to St. Hill, giving them instructions and so on. So he really is involved.
Don't you wake up sometimes in the middle of the night and think to yourself, well, I've been on this ship with a whole lot of Scientologists who believe I'm fantastic, and I've been here for a whole year and not seen anybody else, and I wish to hell I could go away from them?
Well, I haven't been here a whole year, you know. I've been out associating with Arabs and all kinds of people. And one of the ways you learn about life is to associate with people. And
but you don't. You only associate with Scientologists.
Perfectly happy to associate with anybody. The whole point about it is they don't believe I'm fantastic if you saw the number of times they don't follow my orders.
Well, they probably disobey his orders in the Sea Org because a lot of the crew so far have been completely incompetent. They haven't been able to obey his orders. In fact, we've had accidents and so on due to that. But on board the ship, he's a kind of Jesus Christ come Buddha, you know, all rolled into one. I mean, his busts and photographs are everywhere. He just is God.
You say that Scientology is a science. Now, it seems to me that Scientologists believe quite a lot of things which would be scientifically unacceptable and that therefore Scientology isn't a science at all. It's a faith, like flying saucers are a faith.
A science is something which is constructed from truth on workable axioms. There are 55 axioms in Scientology which are very demonstrably true. And on these can be constructed a great deal.
But there are also a lot of things that aren't true.
Not necessarily aren't true, but aren't usual.
They found something that works, you know, in a kind of psychological wilderness elsewhere. And they've also been fired with a tremendous ambition, because there's nothing too ambitious for Scientology. They seriously hope to eventually take over the galaxy.
You think that you're okay, huh?
Well, I don't know that I'm okay any more than anybody else is okay, but I at least live a happy life and a very full one. I have a happy marriage, and my kids are all cheerful, and I'm not nobody's finding any fault with me, personally.
Do you ever think that you might be quite mad?
Oh, yes. The one man in the world who never believes he's mad is a madman.
Live from Clearwater, Florida, it's Make Money, Make More Money, Make Other People Make Money, the Scientology way. And now, here's your host, entrepreneur, and leader of the Church of Scientology, Mr. David Miscavige.
Well, thank you very much. And tonight is the event you've been waiting for. Put it under the heading of Behind the Scenes, or let's just call it a little of what it takes to bring Dianetics and Scientology to the world. That's where we are going tonight. What do you do? And here's the answer.
You were looked at as to how many services that we could get out of you, and how much money we could milk you for.
Now, how could that occur?
You basically make the person feel really, really bad about the condition they're in. You take their problems and you magnify them. You look at how that's going to affect them in the future, and you get the person into a state where they feel that their future is nothing unless they do something. And then you tell them that the only thing they can do is Scientology.
That's not my idea. That's the LRH design. Take a look.
People were persuaded to remortgage their homes, sell their homes, cash in the policies that were supposed to pay off their mortgages, borrow against their pensions, sell their family jewels, borrow from their families, sell their cars. Anything you can possibly imagine that a person could do to raise money, people were persuaded to do to pay into Scientology.
When you get the tech as LRH intended, in the exact form he intended, you get the results he intended when you apply it in your life. So let me show you.
Nuclear physicist Adam Bird was milked for £34,000. He went to the Scientologists for help with dyslexia, but ended up borrowing from various different banks to buy courses. Then several Scientologists came to lodge with him to help with the hefty interest payments.
During this event, they took over my life. I had not intended to put lodges in my house. I now had lodges in my house with Scientologists, one of whom was quite high up in their command structure. To help pay again, another one of them had loaned my car and was supposedly paying me rent for it. I then didn't have any means of transport.
Finucane says they charged $8,500 to his credit cards without permission. When they began phoning for more, he turned on his tape recorder.
So basically, I don't even have enough money for that. Just to even get to the point where I can do my own thing.
You have quite a bit, though, John. I mean, you know, but I don't think buying more is your problem. Your problem is your wife.
After this next one, I promise it's all downhill.
John Buchanan was a Scottish landscape gardener who worked in Germany. He piled up huge debts with several German banks to buy Scientology courses and materials. To escape his debts, he committed suicide. He left a final note for his mother, Mary MacDonald. He explained that he believed that he would come back to life and return to Scotland. For Scientology had taught John Buchanan to believe in reincarnation.
It's simply because someone from the wrong side of the gene pool messed up the manuscript.
It was all too much for Richard, both physically and mentally. Richard borrowed £3,000 to pay for Scientology courses. Tony Clark and other Bournemouth mission officials wrote Richard several letters. Some of them distressed Richard so much he tore them up on the spot. Others warned him of the consequences if he quit Scientology and asked him to come into the mission.
They phoned him 4 times a day, 5 times a day, for an hour each time on the phone. And while he was on the phone, he was shaking, he was a bit nervous, obviously frightened of something.
Richard was anxious about the fact that he was wanting to leave Scientology, and he was concerned that they were not letting him leave and that they were threatening to print personal information about him. That was what he voiced to me.
Much later that night, Richard parked his car by the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol. At 10 minutes to midnight, he jumped to his death.
I feel, and my family feel, that Richard would still be alive today if he hadn't become involved with the Church of Scientology. And I feel that they have a responsibility for people that they're recruiting. And if people wish to leave the organisation, then they need to give people that freedom to leave without harassment and without threat.
That's been an impossible. And by the end of this evening's event, you'll know that to be a fact. And if that's a sampling, I assure you it's not even a half bit. As a matter of fact, we brought along a demonstration. Take a look.
Lisa McPherson reached what is known in the church as the clear status, which promises inner peace and happiness. Just 2 months later, Lisa had a minor car accident, and after an ambulance arrived, she suddenly ran down the road, stripped off her clothes, and said, "I need help." Paramedics took her to the hospital for observation. Several Scientologists suddenly appeared and persuaded her to return to the Fort Harrison. Her condition rapidly deteriorated. After 17 days, the Scientologists finally decided to take Lisa to a hospital. But the driver bypassed the closest hospital and didn't even stop at the next one or the one after that either. Instead, the Scientologists drove for 45 minutes to Newport Richey Hospital, where the emergency room doctor was a Scientologist.
So, is that it? Not quite. Take a look.
She was dead on arrival, emaciated and almost completely dehydrated. Too late for Lisa McPherson. The Florida medical examiner conducted an autopsy and noted hematomas and skin lesions that looked like insect bites. The report stated she died from a blood clot, brought on by prolonged bed confinement and severe dehydration.
It's just awful that anybody's allowed, how they can sit and watch a human being die like that. They got her no help. They watched her die.
And even if you had a tinge of wonder about what that might entail financially, let me show you.
Over a 2-year period, Lisa McPherson spent $97,000.
Okay. In fact, let's get down to real basics. So let me show you.
A central doctrine goes like this. 75 million years ago, a tyrant named Xenu transported people from outer space to Earth, dropped them in volcanoes, then exploded hydrogen bombs on them.
That experience is the root of all human misery today.
Let's phrase it another way. You are stupid. Stupid. You now know why. You are stupid. And the only reason nobody's saying it is because it's so ingrained, nobody needs to say it. You'll know that to be a fact. You are stupid. Thank you very much for attending, and appropriately, I leave you with LRH.
Do you ever think that you might be quite mad?
Oh, yes. The one man in the world who never believes he's mad is a madman.
LRH, hip hip. Hip hip.
Top story this evening, a Clearwater bar owner claims the Church of Scientology is spying on him. It all started when a friend gave him a VIP tour of a downtown penthouse being built for actor Tom Cruise. Our Melanie Michael is live there tonight. A strange story. Mel, fill us in.
Hey, Jen, good evening to you. The bar owner posted a Facebook Live video of this penthouse, and ever since, he says, things have been weird.
I would have never dreamed in a million years that would happen to me.
Clay Irwin tells us life lately has certainly been strange.
It's been interesting, no doubt about it.
The owner of the Lucky Anchor Irish Bar in downtown Clearwater was thrilled when a contractor buddy asked him if he wanted to check out the penthouse nearby being built by Tom Cruise.
This is Clay reporting live from Tom Cruise condo.
Clay captured the moment on Facebook Live.
We're on the top floor, by the way.
After posting the video, it went viral and it was fast. So was the response, he says, from the Church of Scientology. He tells us they showed up quickly and asked him to remove the video from Facebook.
I guess Mr. Cruz saw it or something along those lines, and he wasn't happy about it, and they asked me to take it down, and I did it right there on the spot.
Clay thought the drama was over, but now he thinks he's being watched. He claims his dog sniffed out a spy camera planted across the street from his home. That's when he got worried and decided to put his house on the market.
I'm still going to be neutral because I have to work here. Right. You know, I got my life savings in his place.
A PR representative from the Church of Scientology tells us this bar owner is out for publicity and that he committed a crime, but the person himself, he says that he did this because he was invited up there and that he did not commit a crime. This was just something he put out on Facebook and shared with people, and that his friend was fired 3 days later. Back to you.
Melanie Michael, live in Clearwater for us. Mel, thank you.
Come on, Marty. Got anything to say? You can't even defend yourself on this, can you?
What's your name?
I gave you my name, Marty.
What's your name?
Marty, I gave you my name. Now let's go take a look at a folder.
What's your name?
Why don't you answer his question?
Marty, let's take a look at a folder.
What's your name?
Marty, let's take a look at a folder. You can't touch him, Marty.
What's your name?
Come on, Marty. Go get me your meter. You're squirreling, and we would like to
What's
see
your
that
name,
bring to an
please?
end.
You guys don't identify yourselves?
I identified myself when you opened the door,
I'm going to
Marty.
ask you to leave.
We'll be glad to leave, Marty, but we would like to interview you. Why don't you come downstairs and we'll interview you? What do you got to say about that, Marty? How about that?
I don't have anything to say to an unidentified
Well, I told you I was.
punk who comes with 4 people to my door unidentified.
Marty, I'm with Squirrel Busters
in
Productions.
Goofball outfits.
Marty, I'm with Squirrel Busters Production doing an investigation on you and your squirrel technology that you're promoting.
Okay, you're interrupting the delivery of Scientology, which is...
Marty, you don't deliver Scientology and haven't for years.
No meters.
No meter, no PC folders. I've been reading your blogs, Marty. There's just no way you're delivering anything to do with Scientology.
All right, I've got you guys now. Now leave.
Okay, we'll be glad to leave.
Good. And don't come back.
Marty, why don't you come downstairs and we'll interview you on this point.
I told you to leave. Get out of here.
Oh, no, I'm leaving.
Beat it. Now who's busting who?
Marty, you're the one who's busted because you're the squirrel.
I said get off my property, boy.
Okay, I'll get off the property.
Why don't we come out here and finish the interview, Marty?
Get off my property, big boy.
Okay, Marty, so you want to do the interview out here?
Here we go.
You guys going to stick around here?
Yeah, Marty, we're here for weeks. Weeks and weeks.
As long as it takes.
Can you give me your name?
Marty, come on. My name is John Allender. I gave it to you at the entry.
John Allender?
That's right.
Oh, you're the OT8?
Marty.
You came all the way from San Jose. David Miscavige had you come all the way from
Marty,
San Jose to mess with my PC who's here.
I came out here a squirrel. Marty,
Marty, you can't do that.
You can't do that. Marty!
I just did it.
That's my personal property, Marty.
Yeah, that's right.
Marty, that's a trick.
Stay in there, okay?
Marty, do you want me to call the police?
Yeah, no, I'm going to call him. Stay in there.
I am. I got my door locked. Oh, you're calling them?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
For a guy who has nothing to hide. Don't you think, Marty? Marty, come on. Now that was an awfully odd reaction for somebody who has nothing to hide. Don't you think? Let's do a tech inspection and clear this up.
115 Bayshore Court. You can sign on the bay.
Marty, we're on public property. The police have no standing here. Come on, you're going to have to answer these questions.
Yes, 115 Bayshore Court. No, I'm in Ingleside on the Bay. I'm in San Pat County. I am the sheriff's jurisdiction. Ingleside on the Bay.
It's the 4th of July, and Scientology is having a street fair. Everybody's invited.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hi.
Hi. Enjoy the festivities. Hey.
It seems I was expected, because as soon as I arrived, this fella said into his walkie-talkie, "He's here, south side."
All right. And
This fella came to stop me.
Because the street's closed off right now, sir.
the street is closed off, but it's still a public street.
The street's closed off, sir. You're not wanted here. Why don't we have the police talk to you right now?
But wait a minute. There's a banner right there that says "All welcome."
Well, let's talk to this police officer over here.
All right. Hello.
We have a right for you not to be here, okay?
All right. Now, I understand that I'm not allowed to come here?
That's right.
And why is that?
Because the street, we have a permit for the street, sir. I'm not going to talk to you while you have a camera on me, okay?
Well, why not?
Because I don't want to. So put the camera down.
All right, officer.
Yes, sir.
What is the problem?
There is no problem. The problem is...
You're manhandling the camera. I won't point the camera at you. Just don't manhandle it.
Okay. Now you're
I
saying
mean, you're
that, right?
using excessive force. Yes. Yes. All right. And why can't I be here?
It's a private street.
No, it's not. This is not a private street, is it? This is a public street.
With all the residents. It's closed tonight. Okay?
I called the police department this afternoon, and they said that this is a public street and that we were allowed to be here.
Good. Not tonight is not. They have a permit and it's closed.
A permit
That's why they have it all blocked off here, okay? This is a private party. You
Is
do
this
something
not open to the public?
Well, they don't like cameras around here.
They didn't like having cameras pointed on them when they came to my
Life.
house to picket me,
Sir,
which
I've
is
nothing
why
to do
I
with
brought a
that.
camera
I
out
have
here.
no idea about your house.
So if I put the camera away, am I allowed on the street?
That's up to them.
It's up to them, but it's a public street.
But it's up to them having a private party and the street is closed, sir.
What are you doing here?
I came to cover the event for ZNU TV.
Right. What have you done?
What are my crimes, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I have an overt on that.
What are you afraid of, dude? What are you afraid of?
What are my crimes?
What are you afraid of?
Don't you have a team of
What are
people?
you afraid of? Why are you
What
afraid
am
of
I
Hubbard?
afraid of?
Why are you afraid of Hubbard?
Yeah,
You know
what is your problem? Why are you
don't have
I'm not
permission.
afraid of Hubbard. I'm vastly amused by Hubbard.
You don't have permission to shoot me, okay? Put the camera down.
But you're on the public street,
Put the camera
unfortunately.
down.
Yeah.
You don't have my permission.
You
What are
can't
with
face
it?
us without a camera? Mark, why don't you put the camera
Nice
down and
to see
face
you.
us?
I can
Familiar with that
face
term?
you. I mean, I'm here.
What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of?
What? You answer my question.
Well, there's plenty of be afraid of. with
Answer my
Scientology,
question.
But I'm here, aren't I?
What are you afraid of?
Answer. You haven't answered my question yet. What are you afraid of?
I'm not afraid.
I think
Don't
you are,
you see
Mark.
me here?
You wouldn't be afraid if you weren't doing what you're doing, Mark. You're doing something. It's proof that you're afraid. You're afraid of the success of Scientology because people are going to find out your crimes. What are they, Mark? Spit them out. Get it off your chest.
Wow. Well, you know, darn it, I wish I could tell you.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, well, you
know
can't.
what?
Go
the
ahead.
group stands for nothing but good,
Yeah.
and you're nothing but bad. And
That's
we
right.
want to know why, so we can help
Yeah,
you.
please tell me why.
So we can help you.
Scientology
Well, I'm telling
advocates
you why.
total freedom.
You
We are
got
for
something-
total freedom here, and that scares you. You don't want people becoming more aware and more free. Why is that, Mark? What do you got to hide?
Well, excuse me, Dan, but...
Murder, perhaps? Something in your closet there?
Yeah, I killed a guy once.
Tell us about it.
As a postal worker back in Wisconsin, Mark Wortman. I chopped him up into pieces and buried him in a ditch.
Yeah, that's real funny, Mark.
Well, you needed a crime, so, you know, check with Mark Wortman, see if he's still alive.
Someday you'll be able to face your crime.
myself.
Really? Cool.
Did you take time off from beating your wife to come down here?
I must have, because after all, if you speak out against Scientology, you must be a wife beater.
You know what?
Yeah.
We're giving you too much credit. We're spending too much time with you.
You're
You're
right.
not worth it. So if you want to clean up your act, we'll be happy to help you, okay? But right now, you're like nothing.
Can I come in and
If you seriously
take
want
a
to clean-
personality test now then?
I don't know. But if you seriously want to clean up your act, we can help you.
My
If you're
act's
willing.
pretty clean.
I don't think so.
Yeah, why are you here then, Mark?
came here to
Why are you here
interpolate
trying to
people, right?
interpolate people and upset people?
What's the funny part? Mark?
Yeah, the
What's
funny
the
part
funny
is
part?
that
Interpolate.
you're the funny part.
That's the funny part, that Hubbard makes up words like interpolate.
Why are you afraid of Hubbard? What do you got to lose? What are you
Frankly,
afraid of?
Hubbard didn't make up the word interbulate, okay? It was already in the English language.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you afraid of Hubbard? He knows about you? What are you afraid of?
I believe Hubbard's dead.
That's right. So what are you afraid of?
Well, I mean, I should be afraid of the Office of Special Affairs, I would imagine, since they've gone to the trouble of destroying so many people's lives. Let's take, for instance, Paulette Cooper with Operation Freakout.
Paulette Cooper?
Yes, Paulette Cooper. Do
She
you
had a
approve of-
life? I don't. What are you talking
Do you
about?
approve of the treatment of Paulette Cooper?
I don't even. I'm not really sure what the. We're not talking about Paulette Cooper. We're talking about you and what you've done.
What have I done?
Yeah. What have you done?
I've
Why
shown
are
up
you
here to
here?
enjoy the event.
Yeah.
I wanted to have a book signed. I wanted to ride on the Ferris
You've
wheel.
got crimes, Mark. Get them off your chest. Are you getting paid to do this? Is someone paying you to upset other people?
The German government, but you know, you gotta have international business relations nowadays.
What was the status of this guy? Did you do services here at some point?
Service? You mean in the Sea Org?
No, I just want to know, what your beef is.
What is my beef? Well,
Yes.
I think the fact that you harass anyone who speaks out against the church is beef enough.
No, you don't understand. You can speak all you want. Why don't you go speak somewhere else? Why do you have to do it so you're interpolating people who come here for an event?
Who have I
You're hiding behind this camera. You got this
I'm
big...
hiding behind nothing. I'm giving you a chance to
Listen,
state
buddy,
your
you
situation.
can't even look me straight in the face. You're sitting there hiding behind with one eye closed, looking through the lens.
Okay, I'll open that other
You
eye.
wuss.
Hey, Mark.
We're
We're
done
having
with
too
him.
much
Let's
time
go.
with him.
Later.
Bye. Would you fellas sign my book? Draw a long piece of blue sky if tell you the truth about Hubbard.
Well, I thought I had plenty of great footage, so I was leaving. But then I turned around and saw that my 3 pals were following me.
Boy, you guys are good. You know, I was about to leave.
We're not stopping you.
Okay. It's nice of you to escort me. Dan, do you want to apologize for coming to picket me at my home? You think it was proper to set leaflets around my neighborhood? Let me ask you this. Jeff Jacobson in Phoenix had picket flyers put around a gig just a few days ago when he was being a DJ. Said that he attacks religions. Why is it that you folks have to say that we attack religions when it's only Scientology that we speak out against?
Why do you attack Scientology?
Because of the criminal activities of your organization?
Good point. Criminal activities. What are your criminal activities, Mark? Because that's why you're here. You've got your own criminal activities you want to hide. Let's spit them out, Mark. That's all you're here for, to hide your own crimes.
He's afraid of being found out.
He's afraid. He's absolutely
afraid. It's a terribly
afraid.
difficult way to hide. I mean, I've done a poor job of hiding coming out here.
Spill it out. You know you got the crimes. You know you've done things. What is it? Spit it out.
Well, unfortunately, you don't have a PC folder on me that you can cull to find out whatever.
Well, we can make some good educated guesses.
Yeah, what would they be?
Oh, I'm sure you're a child molester myself.
Okay, all right.
He looks like it to me. I mean, that'd be my guess. But why don't you tell us, Mark? What is it?
What are your crimes? Look, the only people that attack the church are people that are afraid of finding something.
It's just the way it is.
Did you
Mark.
understand
I'm
that?
sorry. That's
I
just
didn't
the
say
way
it
is.
quite right.
It's always that way.
You're afraid of having
Scientology
something
helps
found
people.
out.
It helps people. If you're attacking it, then you're afraid people are going to get better. That's all there is to it. It's simple.
Lisa McPherson didn't get better. She died. Lost
Mark.
40 pounds in 17 days because you folks trapped her in a room and kept her on
Mark.
baby watch.
Mark.
Introspection rundown.
That hasn't anything to do with Scientology. People
Yes,
die
it
every
does.
day. No, it doesn't.
They were following the tech.
One person
They
died.
tried to escape. You folks tracked her down at the hospital, dragged her back, locked her in a room under
What have you
24-hour
done?
watch.
What have you done like
died.
that?
What
What
have
have you
you
done?
done?
What have you done, Mark, like that?
I don't believe I've
You're
locked
telling us.
anyone in a room
I think you're
until
telling
they
me your
died.
own crime. Why don't you just give me the details on it?
Have you seen the cockroach-bitten autopsy photos of Lisa McPherson? They're on the net. You can watch. You can see them there. You'll be able to see them in the court testimony.
Your
too.
crimes, Mark. Your crimes.
How about the
What
crimes
have
of
you
the church?
done?
Why is it that
Why is it that you just can't come clean?
Why is it that
Why is it that you
Scientology
have
is
to
the
attack
only church
Scientology?
that's been,
Why is it that
indicted
you have
for
to
a
attack
crime in the death of
Scientology?
Lisa McPherson?
Why is it you have to attack
Why don't you
Scientology?
just give it up?
Yeah, what are you
We're so
afraid
much
of?
bigger than you. Look at
I
you.
was leaving.
You're one little wimp here.
That's true.
You're
Isn't
one
it
little
amazing how
gnat.
one little- well, I'm
You're
a
a
large
little
fella.
gnat.
Don't forget
And
I'm
look
a
at the
giant
size of
behemoth
this
of a fella,
church.
but I am
And you know why this church is so big?
Yes?
Because they're clean and ethical. That's why, Mark. And you
really?
know why you're so small? Because you're a little dirty gnat with some secrets. And that's all. And we're wasting so much goddamn time with you. We could be having a good time at the
Well,
event.
you should be having.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over there, and you have a good
See you,
night,
Mark.
Bye.
How about Mary Sue Hubbard's crimes? She was sent to prison. I wasn't sent to prison. Bye. Have fun on the Ferris wheel.
Well, it's day 2 of the 4th of July festival on L. Ron Hubbard Way, and as the sign says, they welcome me. Dan isn't making me feel welcome by turning his back to me, but that's nothing compared to what they did to Zinj.
They have assaulted me.
Now, what way have they assaulted you?
They have assaulted me by grabbing me, by twisting my arms, they have slandered me too.
What did they say?
They told me I was drunk.
Are you drunk?
Why not? Well, I haven't done my last test recently. However, I don't think I am.
Well, okay. Touch your nose with your fingers.
Which one?
Well, we decided to forgive and forget and just enjoy the fair. Here Zinj is talking to a fellow about Dianetics, when suddenly...
You have no right to film in here, okay?
I don't.
Okay, you have
You
a
know, that's
permit?
assault.
Do you have a permit?
I don't
no,
need
it's
a
not
permit.
assault, my friend.
It is
it's
assault,
not
sir.
assault.
What's your name?
Two public okay?
What? You know,
Get it out.
this is assault.
Just switch it up.
No. Excuse me, but you can't touch the camera.
You cannot be in this property.
Did you call the police?
Yeah, we did. They're on their way.
Good. Have them come out of the way
Well, you get
because
out of here
for
first,
you.
pal. You go talk to the police first. Okay?
No, I talked to the police this afternoon.
No, you haven't talked to anybody.
By the way, who is Officer Leonard from last night? Is he here
This is a church
today?
event. It's a church event. You're disturbing it.
This is the hand guy here. And now it's time to talk to Dan.
Why don't you get out of here, man? What are you doing?
We're coming to attend the event.
Well,
Dan, it's a public street.
why don't you go home?
That's right.
Hey, now this is something new. I think these guys are squirreling the tech.
So this is the way OTs handle an SP now. By the way, Dan, am I declared SP? Have I been officially declared yet?
Mark, why don't you go home, man? Just go home.
But
Why
I
you here?
bought
Why
tickets.
you here?
I've got to use the tickets. I mean,
Mark, just go home. Go home. There's no reason for you to be here upsetting people. Just
Well,
go home.
I think if you assaulted Zinj, there's plenty of reason for us to be here. We'll talk to the police. By the way, who is Officer Leonard? Which department is he from? Because he doesn't work for the Northeast Division, which is your precinct here. They have no idea who he is. This is great blocking tech. Is this an official policy of Hubbard?
I think you're getting in my way, man.
Yeah, that's certainly what the video shows.
Well,
What's true for you is certainly not what the video camera captures.
Well,
Mark, just go home. You shouldn't be here causing trouble. All right?
I'm not causing
Everybody's
trouble.
here just having a July 4th celebration. You don't
So
need
are
to
we.
be here with your camera intimidating people. All right?
Intimidating who? Are you
You're
intimidating?
here with your drunken friend. You know, what are you doing? Is this the kind of people you associate with? Just take him home. I want you and him, just go home, get out of here, okay?
Well,
And
can't
quit
you
making
use your
your-
OT8 abilities to get rid of us?
Mark, can't you just open your eyes here? What's the deal?
Ben already understands the whole thing. Matter of fact, I do too.
What?
Matter of fact, you don't because they trained you not to. You have a selective filter in your head. That's what
You getting
we're
this
here
on
to
film,
try and
Mark?
tell you.
Of course.
That's good.
Yeah, you deliberately don't want to understand.
Well, it's day 2 of the 4th of July festival on L. Ron Hubbard Way, and as the sign says, they welcome me. Dan isn't making me feel welcome by turning his back to me, but that's nothing compared to what they did to Zinj.
They have assaulted me.
Now, what way have they assaulted you?
They have assaulted me by grabbing me, by twisting my arms, they have slandered me too.
What did they say?
They told me I was drunk.
Are you?
Are you drunk?
Why not?
Well, I haven't done my last test yet recently. However, I don't think I am.
Well, okay. Touch your nose with your fingers.
Which one?
Well, we decided to forgive and forget and just enjoy the fair. Here Zinj is talking to a fellow about Dianetics, when suddenly...
You have no right to film me, okay?
I don't.
Okay, you have
You know,
a
that's
permit?
assault.
Do you have a permit?
I don't
no,
need
it's
a
not
permit.
assault, my friend.
It is
it's
assault,
not assault.
sir. What's your name?
Too public. Okay.
What?
Doc,
You know,
get it
this
out.
is assault.
Just switch it up.
No. Excuse me, but you can't touch the camera.
You cannot be in this property.
Did you call the police?
Yeah, we did. They're on their way.
Good. Have them come out of the way
Well, you get out of here
because
first,
for you.
pal. You go talk to the police first. Okay?
No, I talked to the police this
No,
afternoon.
you haven't talked to anybody.
By the way, who is Officer Leonard from last night? Is he here
Church
today?
event. It's a church event. You're disturbing it.
This is the hand guy here. And now it's time to talk to
Why
Dan.
don't you get out of here, man? What are you doing?
We're coming to attend the event.
Well,
Dan, it's a public street.
why don't you go home?
That's right.
Hey, now this is something new. I think these guys are squirreling the tech.
So this is the way OTs handle an SP now. By the way, Dan, am I declared SP? Have I been officially declared yet?
Mark, why don't you go home, man? Just go home.
But
Why
I
you here?
bought
Why
tickets.
you here?
I've got to use the tickets. I mean, I've
Mark, just go home. Go home. There's no reason for you to be here upsetting people. Just
well,
go
I
home.
think if you assaulted Zinj, there's plenty of reason for us to be here. We'll talk to the police. By the way, who is Officer Leonard? Which department is he from? Because he doesn't work for the Northeast Division, which is your precinct here. They have no idea who he is. This is great blocking tech. Is this an official policy of Hubbard?
I think you're getting in my way, man.
Yeah, that's certainly what the video shows.
Well,
What's true for you is certainly not what the video camera captures.
Well,
Mark, just go home. You shouldn't be here causing trouble. All right?
I'm not causing
Everybody's
trouble.
here just having a July 4th celebration. You don't
So
need
are
to be
we.
here with your camera intimidating people. All right?
Intimidating who? Are you
You're
intimidating?
here with your drunken friend. You know, what are you doing? What do you know? What is this the kind of people you associate with? Just take him home. I want you and him just go home, get out of here, okay?
Well,
And
can't
quit
you
making
use your
your-
OT8 abilities to get rid of us?
Mark, can't you just open your eyes here? What's the deal?
Ben already understands the whole thing. Matter of fact, I do too.
What?
Matter of fact, you don't because they trained you not to. You have a selective filter in your head. That's
You
what
getting
we're
this
here
on
to
film,
try and
Mark?
tell you.
Of course.
That's good.
Yeah, you deliberately don't want to understand. People understand that most Scientologists are very good people with an awful lot.
Yeah, but you're drunk. Just go home. Sleep it off.
Breath stinks.
Man, it's like, dude, it's brewery time. Go home.
Time for a bath, too.
Get this on, you know, Mark, you want to put this on the internet? You and your drunk friend came here.
Yeah, did you get
and
to
tried
see
tried
did you get to
break
see
up the
yourself from
party.
last night?
Mark,
Have you been to
take him outta
Zeno TV
here.
to watch it?
Oh, is he there too?
Oh, he's still there from last night, yes.
Eventually, they start running out of people.
Well, I'll never run out of Dan. Dan's following me everywhere I go.
That's Dan Martin?
Yes.
He chopped his hair off? He's an OT8.
Yes.
I follow
Oh,
you.
Dan,
I follow you everywhere you go.
please.
Mark,
You're at Borders, you're
Please,
here.
Why don't you eliminate us? You don't just postulate us gone. Come on, show
These
us
guys
some
are
OT8
crazy.
powers.
Kind of weird.
Give us
aren't
a, come on,
you're gonna do
postulate
that-
us gone.
You're doing that yourself.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
postulate us gone,
Yeah.
Dan.
You're close enough.
Come on, you're an OT8. Is that correct or is it not?
You're
Are
close
you an
enough.
OT8, Dan?
You're close enough to
Are
be a
you an
guy.
OT8, Dan?
they? Wow, you're.
Are you an OT8, Dan? Are you an OT8? Are you ashamed of it?
Why don't you go home and sleep it off?
Are you ashamed of being an OT8 and not being able to get rid of suppressives?
Aren't you ashamed of being drunk in
Come
public
on.
and causing a scene?
No, actually
It's called
not.
drunk and disorderly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say get me arrested. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
I'm not going anywhere.
Let's go.
Don't raise your voice.
Dan, don't raise my voice with you. Why don't you just,
Did you watch the tape of Dan raising his voice at me last night?
We have
Mark,
transcripts of Dan talking, including with Katie. Katie just loved you. She thought you were.
Dan, you know, I could press civil actions against you because you did illegally block me last night from entering, and this is not a private event.
Well, could I please have the name of
Mark,
this
no
man?
one got in your
This
way
man,
to stop
assaulted me.
You
Yeah.
folks
This man
prevented me
assaulted
from
me,
coming in. You
including
grabbed the
a
camera.
Conspiracy to commit assault.
Mark, I'm
What
sorry.
is your name?
I don't know
Are you
what
an
you're talking
OT8
about.
too?
A what?
Are you an OT8?
What's that mean?
Well, do you know about Xenu?
What's that mean?
You know about how he came to the planet and blew up a whole planet? Yeah, and an island that didn't exist yet? You know, and you're an OT8 because you understand it?
Wow, you must be on LSD or something.
Yeah, probably. I think, L. Ron Hubbard was on, what was that?
Sure.
Yes.
Well, at this point, the police arrived, and they requested not to be on camera, so I will honor that request.
I never, in the last 2 years, quarreled with the LAPD. In general, the upper level of the LAPD, since 2 years ago, is actually very well informed about the people. They've asked us to stay out of the street here, and in my opinion, that's fine. I think we already did what we needed to do. I think it's now time that we do the front street here and inform the public.